I'm gonna get my live right. Appreciate y'all being patient. There we go. All right, let me get my microphone right, guys. I had to try a different camera angle today, so guys, YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And I got a DFS live for you today. I got some players that you should be picking for Saturday State. And tomorrow, I do a live tomorrow, and I got a special guest coming on tomorrow too. But I'm gonna do a live tomorrow for tomorrow games. But today we're just gonna talk about the Kansas City Chiefs, the Houston Texans, the Detroit Lions, and the Washington Commanders. So I got three guys that I feel like you should be starting today in DFS, and then I also got a sleeper of the day, and I got a boom guy of the day. And then I got some studs that I'm going to talk about that we all know should ball out, but I'm just going to talk about it, give you some affirmation about some of these guys, and I'm going to talk about a DST. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. I said what I said. This is cutting edge content. All right. There we go. Okay. So, guys. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about, let's talk about the three guys that I believe that everybody should have in their lineups today. So the first guy that I want to talk about, all right, I was trying to look at the thing. What's going on, B Silver? What's going on, Philly Mike? So the first guy I want to talk about is going to be Xavier Worthy for the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm putting him in my lineups today. Now, the reason why I'm playing Xavier Worthy over guys like D Hop, maybe even just depends on what you're doing. And like I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a good player today. But I love Xavier Worthy. I think he could be in the sleeper category, but I think he's a must start. If you look at the last four games of the Kansas City um, season, Xavier Worthy was picking up and he became the number one guy. We thought it was going to be D-Hop when he got traded there. We thought Marquise Brown could come and take it back over, but it looks like it's going to be Xavier Worthy eccentric. And then he might not be the conventional wide receiver that we all want on our team, but I believe he's playing the Mecole Hardman role or slash Tyreek Hill role. And that role on Kansas City has always been optimal. Jerick McKinnon played that role a little bit coming out of the backfield. Mecole Hardman played that role a couple years ago and was killing it in the playoffs. Was like probably the number two wide receiver in the playoffs a couple years ago, playing that role where they using him out the backfield, putting him in motion, and giving him jet sweeps, all types of gadget plays. So I think Xavier Worthy is the guy that you want to play on this offense. As far as at the wide receiver position. So I love Xavier Worthy going against Houston. The Houston defense is not slack. It's not a slack, but they're going against Kansas City in the playoffs. That's like playing against Michael Jordan, kinda in the playoffs, right? This is an elite team in the playoffs. You have to really come and have a masterful game plan to beat Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. So I love Xavier Worthy. Let's move on. I got three guys that I want to talk about. So I got two more that I want to talk about that I think you need to get in your lineups. Actually, I'm gonna skip over this next guy. I'm gonna use him for the sleeper of the day, so I'm not gonna be redundant. But the next guy I want to talk about is going to be Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is the guy that I think you need to have in your lineups today. He's around like 6,500 average between the DraftKings and FanDuel, but Detroit, the way you beat Detroit is through their secondary. This is a great run defense. They stop the run at a elite level, but they can be had in the back half. So Terry McLaurin, with not having a lot of weapons on this Washington Commander team, Terry McLaurin should get a lot of work He should get. I wouldn't be surprised if he scored 2 touchdowns today in garbage time or a close game. I think Detroit can beat this team. I think they are 10 points better than the Washington Commanders. So if anybody looking for a bet, I do believe that they cover the 10 points. Detroit does cover the 10 points because I believe they run the ball, and I don't think Washington can stop this run game. But Terry McLaurin, I feel like is going to get 12 targets. He's going to get hyper targeted. He's Jaden Daniels' favorite target. He was a top 5 wide receiver this year, and he's been getting targeted in the red zone, unlike the years before Jaden Daniels got there. So I like Terry McLaurin. So Xavier Worthy and Terry McLaurin, guys, I believe those are 2 wide receivers that everybody should probably have in their lineups today. They're not expensive. They're around $6,500, $6,000 on both platforms. Also, if you're doing underdog, I think you should be trying to get these guys. You don't have to take them in the first with your first pick, but that second or third pick, I think Xavier Worthy and Terry McLaurin is good. Okay, so let's get to the sleeper of the day. And I was going to talk about, I think this guy is a nice guy to put in your lineup. That way you can put a cheap guy in there, and then you can build your lineup. Because you need a cheap guy in your lineup so you can get the ballers in there. If you put all ballers, you're going to end up putting people in the lineup that ain't going to get no targets. So you need a guy that got a chance of getting some targets or scoring a touchdown, and he's cheap, and then you can go and get the heavy hitters in there. And that guy's going to be Dameon Pierce. Yes, Dameon Pierce. And the reason why, guys, I like Dameon Pierce is there's no... So I was worried about Cam Akers. And we've heard throughout the week that Joe Mixon got an ankle injury. Now, Dameon Pierce has not been splitting with Joe Mixon. But Joe Mixon with the ankle injury and Dameon Pierce returning a kickoff a couple of weeks ago, having a big play in week 17... This guy has been looking good. So I'm willing to take 3, 4, 5 points, even maybe risk a 0 to put Dameon Pierce in there. That way I can get my studs that I'm going to talk about a little bit later in this live to get them in my lineup. So that's my little sleeper of the day. Not telling y'all that he's going to ball out for 20 points. Not telling you he's going to score 10 points. But I feel good by putting him in my lineup. That way I can get to the heavy hitters. If I want to put Amari in my lineup, if I want... a couple of the big guys, Jahmyr Gibbs. If I want these guys in my lineup, I think Dameon Pierce is the way to get to those guys. He's only $4,500 on both platforms. I think he might be $3,000 on DraftKings. Sorry if I'm off. Vet me, guys. I see y'all up in here. I see you, Thomas. I see you, Jimmy. Let's see who else. I see you, C-Mo. C-Mo says, I didn't know you do DFL. Also, great content. Thank you. I do a little bit of everything, bro. Growing channel, just trying to get my niche. I got a niche, which is fantasy football, but I'm just a growing channel, man. So I'm gonna try to give y'all consistent DFS as much as I can. Okay, so my boom of the day. Boom player of the day. If you want boom, the biggest boom guy. This doesn't mean that he's gonna boom. It means who has the best opportunity to boom, who plays the boom role for these teams. And it's going to be Jameson Williams. Now, listen, Xavier Worthy, I talked about earlier, he's a boom guy too. But he also plays the gadget role. But the boom guy that I want to talk about is going to be Jameson Williams. I'm not saying he outplayed Amon-Ra St. Brown this year, but I think he was very important to this team, and he grew into the role that he has. Like at first, I thought they was going to cut him. I mean, he got in trouble for gambling. He was dropping passes. He wasn't working on his craft. He wasn't blocking. Dan Campbell benched him. But this year, this dude has been a central part of this team. And this is why this team is the number 1 seed in the NFC. Amon-Ra is going to be Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra is going to be underneath. I think Amon-Ra is going to eat today. But Jameson is a special player. And this is the type of players that my channel introduced to my subscribers. Like, I introduce these type of players to my subscribers because I believe these type of players are slept on. Nobody wants to play the guy that's the speed demon, but the speed demon is the guy that's opening up for everybody in today's NFL. Maybe back in the day, it wasn't about that. It was about having a 6'3" guy that was big and physical and who could run good routes and show hands. But now it's more about who's the fastest, and you have to double team them because you can't touch them after 5 yards. So I believe Jameson Williams can have one big play, and he already made his value. Even if it ain't 20, if it's just 12 points, 13 points, he's still going to hit his value for what he costs. So I love Jameson Williams as a boom play today. So guys, let's review a little bit before I get to my super studs and my DST. Xavier Worthy is a guy that you need to have in your lineup. I think he's the gadget guy for this team, which is an important role for the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, Damian Pierce as the sleeper of the day. You can get to some of your superstars and put them in, even though they're very expensive. But by putting Damian Pierce in your flex or RB position, also Terry McLaurin, who should get a lot of targets from Jaden Daniels, going against I would say a weaker pass defense from the Detroit Lions. Like, that's how you beat Detroit. You pass on them. They've been struggling, but sometimes they can come out and play. But no matter what, I still know Terry's gonna get 12 targets and probably have finished with a touchdown. I don't think you're gonna shut out the Washington Commanders and Jaden don't throw any touchdowns to Terry McLaurin. It could happen, but I don't believe that. And Jameson Williams as my boom player of the day. Okay, so let's get to my defense that I'm gonna play today. It's gonna be Kansas City. It's easy. Now, it's only one star that I'm really worried about. It's Nico Collins. But they got Watson. He was rated a real high according to PF the first 6 weeks of the season. He's been out since week 6. He's back. And you got Chris Jones, who's on a Hall of Fame trajectory at the D tackle position, getting 8 to 10 sacks at the D tackle position, who can play outside rush in as a 6'3", well, actually 6'5", 6'6", 320-pound guy, and he can move just as good as Warren Sapp. So this guy is phenomenal. So I think this is going to frustrate C.J. Stroud. It's going to frustrate this whole offensive squad on the Houston Texans side. I don't think Joe Mixon I'm fading Joe Mixon. So actually, if you want to give, I'm gonna give y'all a fade of the day. The fade of the day is Joe Mixon. I'm not playing Joe Mixon. He's going up against Kansas City defense. Last time he went up against Kansas City, they shut him down to like 20 yards. So I love the Kansas City DST today. Okay. So let's get to the studs. These are easy guys. But I'm gonna talk about the studs. I'm playing Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce is him in the playoffs. We think Travis Kelce is old, but they know what they're doing. They don't want Travis Kelce to get no targets in the regular season. They just want to win a game. Noah Gray, that's why he was balling out. They was like, everybody, Travis Kelce, he can't stay on the field. He old. He this. And then he come out here and show you that he can be like Jerry Rice in a playoff game. This guy still got it. This guy can probably still go out here and get you 200 yards at the tight end position. He's that nice. I can't forget about last year when they played the Baltimore Ravens. And I was like, wow, man, Travis, Baltimore gonna beat him because Travis, he ain't done that all year. They getting older. This team gonna have to rebuild. And Travis went out there and caught the first 6 passes to him with Kyle Hamilton, an all-pro on him, and was eating them. I was like, wow, this dude is special. They just saved him. They saved him at the end of the season. So this year, they've been saving him the whole season. So I think Travis Kelce has got to be in everybody's lineups. This is Kansas City. So if Houston come out here and beat Kansas City, I will be shocked. I will be shocked. And I will give kudos to the Houston Texans. So I love Travis Kelce. Next is Pat Mahomes. I'm playing Pat Mahomes. I love Pat Mahomes. He's him in the playoffs. So don't sleep on that price tag. Oh, he's 6,000. So Pat Mahomes, I'm not playing him today. He's been struggling. That's regular season Pat Mahomes. They putting the gig on y'all. This, you gotta understand, guys. They don't care nothing about regular season. It's just like life. Like, as you get older, you don't really care about buying extra expensive cars. You're more about being efficient with your money. As these guys have got older, Travis Kelce and Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're about winning championships. They don't care nothing about regular season stats. So don't go base anything off of regular season. Know what this is. Know what this team is and how they prepare. So I love Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And the most obvious is Jahmyr Gibbs. Woo! Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is like that. Jahmyr Gibbs is probably one of the most explosive running backs. So I got plenty of different attributes that I give to running backs when I break them down. So speed and explosiveness is two different things. So explosive is like boom. It's like a punch. It's not like a build-up speed. Randy Moss wasn't what I would call explosive, but he was a guy what I would call with long speed. Jahmyr Gibbs is very explosive. He's the most explosive running back in the league. Now, I believe Saquon is probably better overall, taking 25, 30 carries every game, juking, doing it all. But as far as hitting that hole like lightning, Jahmyr Gibbs is second to none. And I believe that with David Montgomery being out a little bit, this team was better with David Montgomery being out. Nobody wants to say that, but they were. And I believe Jameer's going to get more honey touches, knowing that this is the playoffs and they know how special Jameer Gibbs. They didn't lose any games when Jameer was starting, but they lost when David was out there. Not saying David was a bad player. David was a good player, but Jameer's just so special. So I always want special players on my fantasy team, and I always want special players in my lineup when it comes to DFS. And last but not least, just a little guy that I want to throw in is Amon-Ra. Don't forget about him. I think he can kill Washington in between the numbers. They don't have a corner who's good overall. They got good corners who can, guard fast guys and play outside, but Amon-Ra comes in the slot, and I don't think they got a guy in the slot that can guard Amon-Ra and stop the in route, the 15-yard in route, the 25 in route, the double move in route. I don't think they got guys that can stop this. So I just want to mention Amon-Ra. Don't forget about Amon-Ra. So let's get to. I'm gonna read out a couple questions, then we gonna get out of here. I appreciate everybody being here. We got like 12 people in here. So I know I don't do a lot of DFS, so it's not gonna be really deep in here, but I appreciate you guys being here. But so let me read out some of these comments. Let's see here. All right, B Silver says, hopefully I ain't missed nobody comment. If I did, guys, let me know. B Silver says, good morning, TD. Start 1 for 3 points. Saints, Brown, Gibbs, Montgomery, Gibbs, Saquon, and Henry. So it's going to be between Gibbs and Saquon. I'm going to go with Saquon. This is how Philadelphia Eagles have to win the game. They got to establish Saquon. Now, I'm not saying that Saquon going to get all the touchdowns, but 100 yards, 25 carries is easy for Saquon. And I don't think he's going to slide this game. I don't think he's going to have a chance to slide. So I would say Saquon. Start 1 for 3 points. For 3x points. Yeah, I would do Saquon. But I know what type of strategy, but the guy who's going to score the most, I would say Saquon over Gibbs, slightly over Gibbs. Thomas, what's up, Thomas? He says, what up, TD? Just chilling, watching the NFL game today. Sucks, I got to work today, but can listen to the game at least. Right, bruh. And listen, man, I've quit jobs because of football, and I'm not afraid to say that. Yeah, I've quit jobs because as I got older, I found out that passion is more important than anything, and I'm not going to apologize for what I love in life. I'd rather be poor and be able to watch football to be a rich man and can't watch football. I said that. I said what I said. So I get it, but bro, that's rough. Jimmy says this is D-Hop revenge game. What's up, Jimmy? Bray can be. This is football. D-Hop, it could be. And they playing against the Houston, so you're right, man. They probably going to try. That's a good point, Jimmy. D-Hop, maybe bet D-Hop anytime touchdown or first touchdown. I think those are good bets to do today. Because, teams want to score, like, players want to score against their past teams just to prove a point. It's just sports. So I do like D-Hop to score a touchdown today. Yeah, that's cutting-edge content right there, Jimmy. Seymour, what's up, Seymour614? He says, I didn't know you do DFS. Also, bro, great content. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thomas says, they about to talk about D-Hop coming up next on the show. Okay. Thomas says, Chick said 334 for D-Hop. Not good. She said 3 for 34 for D-Hop. Okay. Yeah, but it could be a touchdown. One of those could be a touchdown. Pat Mahomes going to spread the ball. Only person we know going to get hyper target is Travis Kelce. Now, here and there, you might get a hyper target game, but you can't count on the wide receivers to be hyper targeted outside of Travis Kelce. Jimmy says, I like Nico. The Texans will need another huge game from him this week. So I'll look for Stroud to send plenty of targets his way. I do too, man. But those corners on the outside for Kansas City, man, is really, really good. The strongest point of this team is their secondary. That's why they let a number 1 corner go last year. They so deep. They got McDuffie. They got Watson. They got a lot of good talent. They got Reed at the as a safety. They got a lot of talent. So I don't think you can beat this team with just one wide receiver. I'm not saying Nico ain't good, but I don't think he's Calvin Johnson or Randy Moss. I don't think they can just give him 15 targets and win this game. But we ain't talking about winning. We talking about fantasy points, DFS points. So you're right, man. He could have 8 catches for 90 yards and 1 TD. He could have that. He's definitely the number 1 wide receiver for Houston. Thomas also says, what about Dalton Schultz? Kansas City, one of the worst versus the Titans. They are, but man, I just can't. It's too many. I like Sam Laporta. I like Noah Gray. It's just too many, so many good tight ends. I'm not going to Schultz, but if I needed to go to Schultz, I wouldn't think it was a terrible move. He probably gonna have some targets, and Kansas City does funnel things to tight ends. They don't cover the tight end the way other teams. They kind of give that up and just come up and tackle. That's why they give up a lot, because nobody's really beat them with a tight end and just killed them. It's just they're like, okay, we give up this 5-7 yard play every time, but we're gonna come up and tackle before the first down. So they do give up a lot of points according to fantasy in DFS. Tedrick says, fantasy god, my Vikings are out. Yeah, that happens, bruh. Yeah, they still had a good season, man. They had a backup quarterback playing for them the whole year. So the Vikings are going to be good going forward. They are a young team. I think they're going to keep Flores. So I think once they go into the draft and get some more players, some more ballers, I think this Vikings team is going to be hard to deal with going in the future. Jimmy's, he says, my favorite quarterback this week is Patrick Mahomes. He's a beast during the playoffs. Yes, sir, Jimmy. I agree with that. Bruh. Cat for life. Appreciate you being here, bruh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jimmy says, I also like Daniels. They will be forced to air it out a ton in this game. Facts. Cat for life says Gibbs and Henry, perhaps. I like Gibbs and Henry. Those are monsters. Gibbs is him. Gibbs is like that. Pacheco is a sneaky play. Yeah, man, but it seems like they're gonna give both of these guys carries. They're gonna give Pacheco and Hunt carries. So I don't want none of them. I need to see Pacheco come back and get the same role that he had last year. Other than that, I'm not playing a Chiefs running back this week. Cat for Life said, I love both packs from Detroit, but Gibbs, when he catches the ball, he's gone. Right. He like both backs. Right. I like Cap for Life says, I like Tim Patrick. I love Tim Patrick. I want to talk about Tim Patrick. Yes, man. I love Tim Patrick. I got him in a couple underdog leagues where I've drafted Tim Patrick as my last pick. So I like Tim Patrick. He's sneaky. He's going to be one-on-one. They're going to try to take away Amrod Toms, trying to take away Gibbs, the run game. Who's going to get one-on-one every time? Tim Patrick. They're never going to double team him. So Tim Patrick's going to have some chances to score and have some big plays. Excuse me, guys. Patrick says Lions win it all. I wouldn't doubt that, but I think it's going to be Baltimore and the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl. I've been saying that all year, and I think Baltimore win the Super Bowl. Cat for Life says, I'm doing Barkley, Gibbs, and Henry parlay. Okay, I like that. All three of those guys are going to get to work. Simo says, I think Hollywood could be sneaky play. What's your take on it? I'd rather have a Worthy. But everybody can be sneaky, right? But I think Worthy is a better sneaky play. I think Worthy is a better sneaky play. Cat for Life says, nowadays you can do football for 6 months and have a part-time for 6 months. It's true. Facts. When I made that decision, bro, I wasn't even like doing 6 months. I didn't even have no good job. I was struggling. I ain't gonna say I had no money, but I was just working job to job, temp to temp. But they was like, oh, you got to work on Sundays. I'm like, this job is done. I will go to McDonald's. I'm not working no job on Sunday. You might as well cancel that. Now, I'm not saying I won't do it. Like, I got a son. So if my son need food, I'll put football to the side. But for me, I won't even eat. I'm watching football. I'm going to pay for the football. So I'm going to have a job where I can pay to watch the games. But that's just me, man. I just love football like that. But I get what you were saying. Especially with these online jobs. Thomas says, yep, D-Hop anytime TD. She said anytime touchdown also. Yep. Cat for Life says, I like it. And Jimmy says, do you agree with RG3 that black quarterbacks get criticized more than white quarterbacks? Herbert played terrible and the media said nothing. Yes. And guess what? It's okay. It's okay. This is why I love like doing this and talking, because, I don't want to, get weird, because I understand, man. People don't want to come here to hear politics and hear about race and stuff, because we want to escape. But here at Fantasy Good Sports, I like to talk about being a good human and also like being great in life. And so black quarterbacks and black men get judged all the time. Man, you ought to see the stuff that goes on at my job. And I have a great job. I had a person that hired me, was a Caucasian guy. He gave me an opportunity when it was hard to get a job coming out of college. So, but as black, we have to overcome certain things, and that's anything in the world. Women had to overcome that they can't be in the workforce or they can't be in the military. Doesn't matter what anybody's opinion, but they had to overcome that. Black men have to overcome being a coach, being a leader, and that's fine. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's okay. It's okay. They do get criticized more, but that's why I want Lamar Jackson to win. But I don't. If he doesn't win, I'm not gonna say it because he was black. If Tom Brady is, to me, he's the GOAT. I don't care what color he is. So, that's just something how the world works, man. And it's okay. It's okay. But I think people need to be open to let people talk about it and don't be, oh my God, here we go. That's when I think that's even a bigger type. That's almost a form of racism there. But anyway, I'm going to move on from that. Great. I love that comment, Jimmy. Thomas says, Xavier Worthy about to get some carries and sweeps. Agreed. Mr. Fulton, what's up, bro? He said, hello on Monday, January the 20th. It's my big 26th birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Fulton. Happy birthday, early birthday. Ed Tay, what's up, Ed Tay? He says, I got a feeling that Houston can win this game. Don't sleep. Yeah, I'm sleeping. Not saying, bro, you might be right. I'm sleeping. I don't think Houston can beat Kansas City. But we're gonna watch. We're gonna find out, right? What's up, Cretch? Cretch says, what do the Texans need to do to win this game? Great question. They have to be able to get to Pat Mahomes with just 3 or 4 rushers, put heat on him, and blitz at certain times. But you can't blitz a lot, but you got to blitz at certain times. So they got to be able to get to Pat Mahomes with about 4 or 3, maybe 5 sometimes, and keep that back half. Don't open up on the back half. Like, keep 2 safeties back, keep the corners back, and come up and tackle well. Don't let Xavier Worthy get behind you. So if they can get pressure and Will Anderson can get 2 sacks on Pat Mahomes, and they can pressure Pat Mahomes, and they can turn the ball over, make Pat Mahomes turn the ball over, I believe Houston can win this game. But I don't think you're going to win this game by coming out and blitzing every single play and blitzing a lot. I think you have to keep 2 safeties back deep at all times. And that's how you beat Pat Mahomes. If you single high, he eat up single high. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the game against single high. So pressure with 3 or 4 guys. Keep the integrity of your secondary. And keep everything in front of you and come up and tackle. Play a lot of zone coverages and play man at certain times. Thomas says John Mechie could be sneaky. Yeah, man, it's a lot. You can name anybody. You can say they can be sneaky. So I'm not being disingenuous. Anybody could be sneaky, but I'm not willing to put him in my lineups. That's bottom of the barrel. I'm not saying he's a terrible player, but there's just a lot for him to get targets. I don't think he got a lot of targets the last couple of weeks. Jimmy said, do you like Olamide Zaccheaus as a sleeper? No, not really. He ain't got no targets in the last 2 games. It could be his game, but he ain't got no targets. I like Diami Brown over Olamide Zaccheaus. Yes, I like Diami Brown over Olamide. Ed Tate says, I believe what you say about black men. This German guy gave me a chance with a job, and I've been there for 13 years and making great money. My family is his family. Right. I believe what you say about black men. Yep. This German guy gave me. Right. So, and just to, real quick to move on, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I like that. I'm a sports guy, so I love my back being against the wall. Now, what I don't like is people don't like to be around me because I call out hypocrisy. Y'all know how I am. Y'all, even a lot of you think I'm sensitive, but God made me the way He made me. I'm not in here being sensitive because I want some sugar, right? I need me a candy bar. No, I'm sensitive. Don't disrespect me. Like, you can have your opinion. You ain't got to come to my channel, but I'm not going to tolerate disrespect. And I got a lot to prove. And so that's going to make me be a little bit, which I would call sensitive. Because okay, watch. I'm a black man. Y'all don't think I can do a YouTube channel? Y'all think because I don't weed out, or I can't do facts, I'm slow, or I talk funny? Okay, well, wait. We're going to see then. Keep waiting. Keep waiting. So a lot of people get turned off by that, but that's just the way the world works. And I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with people telling me to be something different, trying to gaslight me. That's another thing. I think a lot of people gaslight these situations. But Aiden says, what's your thoughts on the Bills game? Man, I love the Bills game. I love Lamar. I think Lamar got something to prove. I made videos on him. I told y'all I've been talking about Lamar for like my whole channel since it existed. I got Lamar in almost like every single dynasty league. But I think the Baltimore Ravens beat the Bills. The only guy that I really like on the Bills, outside of Josh Allen, I like Dawson Knox as a sleeper. Not saying he's gonna hit, but that's just a sleeper. But I can't count on none of these receivers. Maybe Khalil Shakir, but none of these guys really. Is nobody consistent other than Josh Allen and James Cook 75% of the time. So I'm playing a lot of Ravens, and I'm playing a couple Bills, and I believe the Ravens beat the Bills, but I do believe that it's a 7 to 10 point game. I just don't want to bet against Lamar in the playoffs after his mama called him out like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Okay, let's see. Yep, I think that the Ravens run the ball and play act, and Lamar starts dotting. I don't know if Zay gonna play. It doesn't matter. But I think Lamar gonna pass the ball around to all his weapons with the play action game, because they're gonna try to sell out to stop Derrick Henry, and Lamar gonna play action and use that to his advantage. So that's the game plan that I think that Todd Monken is gonna do. Let's see here. Youngster says Chiefs, Lions, Rams, Ravens. Let me see. Chiefs, Lions, Rams, Ravens. So those are the teams that you think is going to win, and that's what you think going to be in the AFC and the NFC Championship. That's interesting. Okay. So you think the Chiefs is going to be playing the Ravens and the Lions are going to be playing the Rams? That's not a bad pick. I can see that. I got a little bit difference. I think the Lions win. Well, I think the Chiefs win today. The Lions win. I actually think the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Rams, and I think the Ravens win. So I disagree with you on, I think one game. Jimmy says, I think Montgomery will get the goal line touches. He is a power runner for Detroit. He is, but this is a playoff game. Jahmyr Gibbs is on fire. Now, if they get going and they up by 2 scores, yeah, David Montgomery going to get his. But if this game is close, Jahmyr is the guy. I think the team know that. David Montgomery knows that, but David still is a good running back. So, yeah, David Montgomery might get a touchdown or 2. But to me, man, I don't try to get too cute to try to win DFS money. I kind of just go down with the ship and play like the stud guy. Like, I believe Jahmyr Gibbs is special. So if I'm choosing between David Montgomery and Jahmyr, I'm going to go with Jahmyr because I think he can have a big play. He can score a 70-yard touchdown, which is more points. So that's just how I look at it. But David Montgomery, I think he's going to get a couple chances to score today. He does that almost every single game when that run game is hitting. Thomas says St. Brown talking smack about Olamide Zaccheaus because he was drafted over St. Brown. Right, he was, man. That's crazy. Not saying it's crazy because I didn't know a lot about St. Brown. I didn't talk about St. Brown when he was getting drafted. So I got to go down with that ship too. We all slept on Maroc coming out. And you see how he got that chip on the shoulder. He's not sensitive. You see how he calling out people names, and it's 4 or 5 years ago. He's still calling out people names, but that's not sensitive. That's called he's a winner. He's passionate. A lot of people don't understand that because they had never faced adversity. They never went through anything. They always had food on the table. When you go and you ain't always got food on the table and you don't always have a family environment, you build up that. That's why a lot of African Americans love sports, because we get to go out there and get that anger off and prove that I am worth something. I'm not a dumb black person. I can be great in life. Dion doing with his sons. That's why people don't understand why Dion coaching his son, because that's something that you don't see from a lot of black fathers. You don't get a chance to really grow up with your son and teach him what you know and have that camaraderie. Let me see. Ed Tate says a lot of people are afraid of the person who know who they are. Right. A lot of people are afraid of a person who know who they are. Right. Facts. That's deep. That's deep. Youngster says Shakira getting Marlon Humphrey going to be rough. Yeah, Marlon, man, it's so great that he moved into the slot. Marlon is great in the slot. I think he can play outside, but he's not a speed. So speed can beat him. If the defense don't get to the quarterback, eventually Marlon can get outran. But his technique is flawless. So Marlon is a great slot corner. So yeah, I love. It's gonna be tough for Shakir. Youngster says I just got to see this Lions Rams rematch with Puka healthy. Right? Okay, with Puka healthy. Right? Okay. Crent says you definitely gave the best explanation about the Texans game. Mahomes rarely gets sacked, even when getting blitzed. Right. We'll just have to see what happens. Right, Cretch? Right. Thomas says, I saw something that Gibbs hasn't got 18 touches with Monty in the game at home. Right. But you got to understand, this is playoffs. And Jameer is special. Now, if they would have kind of like, maybe Jameer wouldn't have got off like he did, because, you know, Jameer was the number one running back in fantasy. So the coaches and the players, they don't care about fantasy, but they know, like, and David know, all right, man, if we get down, Jameer can score at any time. So that's going to come in. But if the game is easy, Monty going to eat, and then you can apply that science. But I'm not going to apply that science to a playoff game where they got to win it. The best player going to get the ball. You can go out through history. Randy Moss and Wes Welker, when they was on the same team with New England, if they ever felt like a team was coming, they going to Moss. Wes Welker had more targets than Randy. But when the game got tight, it was Randy Moss. So if I'm picking, I'm not going to go to, you know what? Wes is getting 12 targets in the game when the game is tied. And that's too much analytical and you're going to miss the boat. Just like when you looking for a significant other or girlfriend. It's certain things you look for, but you don't start like, hey, do you take baths every day at 8 o'clock? Like, it's too much. You looking at the data too much. Just look at it and see what you see and follow your heart. When I'm seeing the Detroit Lions, I'm watching Jahmyr Gibbs. He's special. So I'm going to pick him in the DFS. But playing David Montgomery to get other people in your lineup and going a little bit cheaper at running back is a good strategy. And David Montgomery's going to get some goal line opportunities, and he could outscore Jahmyr Gibbs. So I want y'all to understand that's how I teach my fantasy and my DFS. Every move that somebody suggests doesn't mean it's the best move, but it's how you go down with the ship, because we don't know what's going to happen when the Lions actually get down and score. We don't know if they're going to put David Montgomery in or if they're going to play Jahmyr. But I'm willing to go down with Jahmyr knowing how special he is. So, you know, that's all I would say about that. Right. I know what you're saying, Thomas. And that's what I'm saying, too. It ain't because I like Jahmyr. Not saying that David Montgomery won't smash. Facts. Jimmy says, do you think Deion accepts if Jerry Jones offers or makes him the next Cowboys coach? Man, you know what, guys? You know, usually I have an intuition, especially when it comes to my Cowboys, stuff that I'm like sports, football. I have an intuition, and I'm usually can predict some good things and have some good theories that may work out sometimes. Most of the time, I would say, because I believe in myself and I studied myself. But I don't know. I will always say that if Deion leave Colorado, he can't come back to college because nobody's going to trust him again. Like what? So say my son is getting ready to go to college and he's really, really good. And Deion or Deion comes back from the Dallas Cowboys after so many years. I'm not going to trust Deion to be there at that school. What if he get another big job? He might leave and take that job. So I don't know if Deion wants to leave like that. I think he might want to like have a smooth transition to the pros. But listen, money talk and bullshit walk. I'm not gonna ask a man not to take an opportunity. This is money. This is opportunity in life. The same thing when he left. I was kind of disappointed when he left Jackson State, but I was disappointed when he left Jackson State. But I understood why he left Jackson State. It was a bigger opportunity for him and his family. So I don't know. I would say no, but if he takes it, I get it. It's the money, but I don't think he can go back to college. And you only been in college for like what, 3 or 4 years? So that's gonna be rough if you take that job because these kids are not gonna trust you. And who cares? Hey, maybe it ain't about trust no more in college because you see these guys are transferring to whatever school that they want to go to. Who's gonna give them the most money? So maybe loyalty don't even matter in this situation, right? But I would think it would be a big like mistake to leave because you got these kids coming in that's who committed to Colorado and you're gonna leave. To that, Gibbs is the guy. Right. And I wasn't going against you, Thomas. Youngster says Monty did that thing to LA week 1 in overtime, blew my ticket. I had the Rams +4. Yeah, man, and that's betting. That's betting for you. Yeah, he says true that Gibbs is the guy. Thomas says I'm still trying to learn DFS when it's available in Washington. Right, it's coming soon, bruh. What's up, Mr. Anderson? Ryan says, man, Deion is out of there. He might be, bruh. He might be. You know, he might be. I'm like, you just committed to Colorado, and you got these guys coming to Colorado. You got Jordan Seaton who committed there, and he can't go pro next year. That's rough just to leave him out there. And people are going to talk about that. But I'm not judging him. Whatever Deion wants to do, I support him. I support people no matter what they do. I don't care about that. I'm big into not judging a human. Even if it's the wrong thing and I think it's the wrong thing, I still like to give people their space because that's just how I feel. Because I've been judged a lot for the decisions that I made. And even when it hit, nobody cared. Like I wanted to do and do my own YouTube. You know what? When I wanted to do my own YouTube, people, oh, you crazy. You got an IT job. Go study them IT and take them certifications and make money there. Then I got 500 subscribers. That's cute. It's okay. Then I got 1,000. Well, hey man, you're passionate. You know a little bit about football. Then I got 2,000 subscribers. Well, if you keep it going, you might make something one day. God blesses everybody. Like I always got an excuse about something. So, you know, it's just how the cookie crumbles, bro. So I get why Deion could go on to Dallas. Thomas says for a different time, but you should do a video on who you would draft first in the redraft. Hey, I did do that. I did that, Thomas. And I'm taking, I said Gibbs. Gibbs was my number 5 guy. My number 4 guy was Saquon. Number 3 was Jamar. And number 2 was Josh Allen. And number 1 was Lamar Jackson. Those are my top 5 picks. People might not agree, but hey, those are my top 5 picks for this year. Ryan said, who needs trust when he can come turn a losing program around even if he leaves? You right. See, Ryan, you preaching. You preaching, Ryan. That's what I'm talking about. You right, bruh. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that trust and all that, you don't need that when you can come in and turn it around. Maybe the players won't feel slighted because Deion left them at Colorado. So you might be right, bruh. I love that comment, Ryan. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, Ryan. I haven't seen you here before. Let's see. No, it wasn't a B. John and Gibbs video. It was saying who I'm drafting first. I had Gibbs at number 5. So I didn't have B. John as a top 5 player that I'm drafting. Now, running backs, B. John is probably like number 3. Saquon, Gibbs, and then B. John. And I won't be surprised if B. John actually outplays Gibbs. But Gibbs is so damn explosive. I think he can win you a game by himself, and I like that type, right? I'm willing to go and maybe take a little less attempts for more explosiveness. What's up, Big Will? Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. Let's see. B. Silver says, I'm so indecisive between Gibbs and Saquon, I can only use the player once moving forward. Me too. I'm in that same type of league, B. Silver. We might be in the same one. Especially when the Lions and Commanders game total being around 50 today. Right. Uh, yeah, man. It's a lot of strategy to that. You got to think who you're gonna try to use in the Super Bowl, the championship game, and this week, and kind of play the matchups and wait to save special players for a great matchup later. So I get what you're saying. Thomas says it would be a cold piece of Dion promised these kids and bounce. Either way, I'm not hating. I love what you're saying, Thomas. I agree. I'm not hating either way. I do think, but if he told the kids to listen, if I get the job, I'm gonna take the opportunity. Just like I want you to take the best opportunity for you. So if you want to leave my school for a better opportunity, I'm okay with that. If Dion told these kids that, then I'm okay with whatever he does. If he didn't, I'm still okay with it. But I just want to, I'm an honest man. I'm always transparent. Some people think guys, there's people right now that don't like me because I'm honest. I just come straight up. Some people don't say that, just be quiet. No, that's you sneaky. You acting like a snake. So I'm always gonna come through the front door. I don't want to date no girl, sneaking in to no girl. I want to knock on the door and say, hey, I'm here to go pick up such and such. I don't want to be sneaky. So I would expect Dion to come in and tell these kids, this is what my plan is, and this is the opportunities that I'm facing. So this is what I might do. As long as he say that, I'm cool with it. Fantasy Network says, Lamar, yes, what's going on with you, bro? Let's see. He says, in my opinion, Gibbs is a more dynamic playmaker than B-John. B-John kind of reminds me of CMC with how balanced he is. Facts. Hey, youngster, bro, you right. That's cutting edge. Big Will says, school or certifications, the best route for the IT field. Certifications, because school gonna make you learn about things that you don't need. But the certifications is getting straight to it. Schooling, guys, the education program is being rebuilt. They taking this political science shit out of the school systems because you learning a lot of shit that don't help you. What about how to invest? What about how to balance a checkbook? What about how to how to build a financial portfolio? Those are the things that's very important. Going in school and you want to teach me about, let me see, what's the classes that you have that you don't never need? Like chemistry. Like, yeah, you need chemistry, but if I'm not gonna be a chemist, I don't want to sit around and be wasting my time and studying for a chemistry test. So I would say the certification is the best way if you niched in to go into IT. Guys, I like IT because it pays the bills. But I don't give a damn about IT, to be honest with you. I don't care about IT. I respect it as if I'm making a business, because I do want to create some businesses, and I understand IT is going to be a central part of that. But far as like, oh, this is IT and no, I don't. My passion is sports. That's me. That's what God blessed me with. But yeah, certifications. Ed Tate says, what we doing with Tyreek next year? You are being quiet and you drafting him. I don't know what round, but kind of just fill out the draft. But don't blow him up, because he's gonna if he gets traded, it's gonna even be better. If he don't get traded, they're gonna bring in a good backup quarterback, even if it's Joe Flacco or somebody. They gotta bring in somebody that if Tua goes down, they can still throw the ball deep to Tyreek. So I still love Tyreek. I'm still drafting him, and I'm buying low on him in leagues. I think he has 2 more years at the speed level, and then I think after that, he could switch position or he could retire. And I think I might say he might move to the slot, because he can still play slot. He still's a good route runner. So I still love Tyreek. You don't see negative regression coming for Barkley? No, sir. No, sir, because Barkley can catch. So Barkley is not a type of guy that he needs to run between the tackles every time like Derrick Henry, none of that. He can catch passes. So you got to understand, there's 3 phases to a running back career. That's your early phase where you'll run over a brick wall because you're so tough. You're young, you don't care. Then you got the second phase where you're in your prime and you know when to get out of bounds and you can do everything well. And then you got the third phase where usually they're going to use you for a small compartmentalized role. Like Derrick Henry, when he's 35, he can still be a great goal line running back and still give you 15 touchdowns. He might not have 1,500 or 2,000 yards, but he might have 1,000 with 15 touchdowns, right? So you got to understand there's different phases. Saquon is still at his peak where he's catching, and he's on a better team. He's not taking as many hits. So he ain't even on the tail end where he's just going to catch passes and come in as a third down running back. So I see Saquon got 3 more years, 4 more years. I'm not trading him off none of my fantasy teams right now. Now, if he had an injury, like a knee injury, then that we have to go back and revisit everything. Thomas says, smash the like button. Yes, sir. Charlene, what's up, Charlene? She says, hey, TD, Dion may go to the Dallas Cowboys. Right. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes. I'm okay with it. I just make long as he is up front with those college kids. The Gone Network, what's that? He said, Trey Barkley and Dynasty? No, sir. No, sir. Now, it depends on what you're going to get. If you was going to trade Saquon Barkley and you was going to get like a Jahmyr Gibbs and something, another nice piece, it just depends. Make it make sense. If you're going to trade Barkley, you need to get the bag. Make sure it's a huge bag that you're going to get if you trade Saquon Barkley. I'd rather players rot on my team before I give my championships away. A lot of people play to trade. A lot of people don't play to win championships. I'm telling you, I seen people quit my leagues because they couldn't get the number 1 pick. They ain't worried about winning. They just want the number 1 pick, no matter if they win or not. They have fun. I got the number 1 pick. That number 1 pick don't mean shit. So I'm not trading Barkley. I'm using him for championship. Even when he had a down year with Giants, I had Barkley on my team. So guys, I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I appreciate everybody being here. Cutting edge content. The reaction videos, guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of reaction videos. And also, guys, I got a new host that's going to come up. So, some of the names and stuff that you're going to hear Harambe is going to be coming up, CHB. Then I got a special guest that I'm introducing. He's going to be up regularly. He's going to be hosting the show. And I'm also going to invite some other people, and I'm going to try to do some interviews with some people that give us intellect about football, too. So, those are the things that's coming. All right, so I'm going to read a couple of these comments, and I got to get out of here, guys, before my phone go dead. But Jimmy says, how do you feel about Austin Eckler today as a value play? Yeah, he's a decent value play, man. He's going to catch some passes. Brian Robinson hasn't been playing good. Detroit is really good against the run, so you would think Austin Eckler would be in the game plan. Yes, love Jaden Daniels next year. If he win this game against Detroit, he probably is a top 3 quarterback in the NFL if he beat Detroit today. Ryan says, a lot of members eager to rid the best back in the league. Right. Right. A lot of members are eager to get rid of the best back in the league. Facts. Youngster says, you a Cowboys fan, TD? Yes, I am. Yes, sir, I am. What's your thoughts on the Dak stuff? I think Dak is one of the top game managers. Game manager is not a negative thing. Troy Aikman was a game manager. But he's not Pat Mahomes. But you don't have to have Pat Mahomes to be great. You don't have to have these special quarterbacks to be great. You can have a great team. And I believe that we can win with Dak. But I don't think we should have signed Dak to that new deal. If we didn't want him, we should have traded him or let him walk. And we went on and signed him. And I thought that was a bad move. But it has nothing to do with Dak. Dak is what he is. And I think he gives you everything he got. And I think he works hard. And I don't got anything to say about that. I'm not going to ask Dak to be Tom Brady and say he needs to be better. He is who he is, and he can win, but he's not necessarily going to put the team on his shoulders and go out and throw for 500 yards every game. He says, I don't think Jerry is coming off him, and I still believe he is still a top 3 throwing the ball. I would say top 5, top 7, because there's a lot of young guys coming in, but I agree. That you can win a Super Bowl with that. Got to build a good team around him. The Go Network said, yes, sir, keep it going through the offseason. You know it. Charlene says, thank you, TD. And Thomas said, JD5. That boy love JD5. That boy love JD5. All right, guys. I'll see y'all later. Y'all be safe. Peace.